Hello, good evening, everybody. How's everyone doing? Today is February 13th. Guess what tomorrow is? Absolutely. Valentine's Day, February 14th. Today is podcast number 27 on day 27 of me going live. That's right, folks. I am doing this live, and I'm doing this live and recording it. And now, guess what? Now I am recording on Instagram, even though I put a post, I don't know, a few days ago or something like that, about me not doing lives or not posting anymore on Instagram simply because on my phone it's giving me some trouble. But you know what? I decided Instagram is not going to win. They'd have to shut me down in order for me to stop posting on Instagram. And hey, you know what? You live once, so what? And today we're going to be talking about 2024, the year of accumulating failures. It is the year of failures, of embracing failures. Now, failure seems to be such a taboo word. It's like the most hated F word. Like if you want to call anybody anything and you want to insult them the most, you call them a failure. And then you make them feel so bad and horrible. Then they go and they cry to their mommy and they cocoon themselves. They don't want to do anything forever or what it seems. But failure, let's look at failure differently. And I want to start off by saying this really wonderful, wonderful quote. And it goes like this: Our biggest problem is thinking that we shouldn't have any. Our biggest problem is thinking that we should not have any. So if 2024 is going to be any different than the years past, it is to switch your mind to thinking, hey, look, failure is actually good. You want to fail. Now, you don't want to fail with the attempt, and this is the new paradigm shift for you. You don't want to fail with the attempt of wanting to become better. It's going to happen. The more you failure, the more you're going to become better. But, and I'm going to get to this, but you want to fail simply like this year. Just make it your goal to just fail. And not just fail once. I mean, fail multiple times. Like fail and then fail again and then fail again. And make this year the year that you fail the absolute most. Get trophies of failures. Don't just fail and just kind of like, slump on the couch and eat some chips and watch TV. No, that's not fun. Fail, then go back and fail again. And then go back and fail again. Get up again, fail again. And there's a method to this madness. Because if you train yourself to fail consistently over and over again, guess what you're doing to the other F word, which is fear. You thought I was going to say the other one. No, you're naughty, naughty. No, you're going to destroy fear because fear means absolutely nothing. Fear is the presence of you not failing or you trying to avoid failure. So if you fail consistently and you train yourself to fail and you're like, you know what, this year I'm going to fail the most. I'm going to look at everybody else and everyone how they're bragging about their success, how they're bragging about their wins, how they're bragging about how much they made, how much weight they lost. I'm going to brag about how much I failed, how much I've tried, and how much I failed. And I bet you anything, by the end of this year, if you adopt this mentality of accumulating failures, you will win. You're going to be the one that wins because you would have developed something called an undefeatable mind. I'm going to quote something here from a book that's actually really cool about having an undefeatable mind. Having or possessing an undefeatable mind is not just to rebound quickly from adversity or to face it calmly without being pulled down by depression or anxiety, but also to get up day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, decade after decade, even over the course of an entire lifetime, and attack the obstacles in front of us again and again until they fall or we do. And that is the definition of having an undefeatable mind. That's what Steve Jobs had. Steve Jobs had an undefeatable mind. Now, the cool thing about developing this undefeatable mind is that you start approaching your tasks with joy, with pleasure, because you know that failure is not a big deal. That's what you're trying to train yourself for 2024. Train yourself in knowing that failure is a good thing. Failing is good. We've been taught our entire life growing up. Isn't that true? We've been taught our entire life growing up that failing is bad. If you fail, right, F on the report card is shameful. Who said failing means that not just that you suck? It's not that. It's that you are either not interested in that, or whatever method that you've been doing sucks. It's not you suck. It's there's something that didn't work. And so that was feedback to let you know, hey, look, whatever you did didn't work. So how about you try something else, see if that works, fail again. No problemo. As long as you keep doing it over and over again. The worst thing that you could do is fail and be discouraged and then just stop. That is the absolute worst thing that you could do to yourself and to your life, because there is nobody on this planet that's going to come and rescue you from your failure except yourself. There's nobody that's going to come and rescue you from your problems except yourself. As they say, don't complain to anybody, because 90% of the people that you complain to don't care. And the other 10% are glad that you have those problems. So don't complain to anyone. Just deal with your own problems. Failure is a good thing. Stop thinking of failure. We're so like taught since our childhood. We're taught that failure is a bad thing. It's actually a good thing as long as you keep getting up and you're trying something else in order for you to you're aiming to fail. Like, this is a distinction. Your aim is to fail. Now, obviously, our instinct kind of doesn't allow us to do that. But where you're training yourself subconsciously is you're like, look, I am actually looking forward to accumulating as many failures as I humanly can this year. The more failures that I accumulate, the more that I will be successful, because I have all these trophies of failures. You're not aiming at the end of the year to actually get successful. You're aiming to get failures. Possessing an undefeated mind, we understand that there's no obstacle from which we can't create some kind of value. There is no obstacle from which we can't create some sort of value. What does that mean? If you fail, guess what you've done? You've actually accumulated a lesson that nobody else will be able to teach you. And now it's embodied and ingrained in you. And now it actually makes you better. It develops your character. It develops the person that you become a better person. You know how they say in the military, they say, be all you can be? Well, there's no such thing as you being all you can be without you failing consistently. Now, the difference between someone who's in that mindset of being all that they can be and someone else who's, miserable, depressed, sad, hopeless, is that person who's be all you can be doesn't care about failure. They recognize that they actually should fail, because no one's born walking. As soon as you're born, you're not walking, right? You gotta crawl, and you gotta try to walk. You fall. Imagine if 91% of us tried to walk and fell once, and then got up and fell again. And we're just like, you know what? Walking is not for me. It's not. Walking is just not for me. I tried once, tried twice, tried 3 times. I just kept falling. I guess it's just not for me. But do you know why we don't do that? Because we always compare ourselves to other people. And we're like, well, everyone else is walking. I should be walking too. And so we get up, we keep walking. And the cool thing about kids is that kids don't give up. Kids are taught to give up, but inherently kids don't give up. Babies don't give up. Babies keep pushing, keep trying. That's why they keep hurting themselves, right? Look, when I was a kid, I'll tell you a story. When I was a kid, I was incredibly curious. When I was a kid, I was walking around in the house, and my mom was using the iron board. You know where this is going. My mom was using the iron board, and then I saw the iron board, okay? And then I saw the iron. I'm a baby, okay? I can barely walk, but I saw it, okay? And then I put my hand up, and just enough for me to reach and to touch the iron, the hot iron. Yeah, I burnt my hand. But guess what that taught me? Iron's hot. Don't touch the iron, Be careful where you put your hands. That taught me lessons better than my parents will ever teach me. And similarly in life, I mean, I've I've learned so much in this business of dentistry. I can't even tell you how much I've learned. I can't even tell you how much I learned. Even in dentistry, when I first graduated, do you know how many mistakes dentists make or any kind of professional makes when they first start? Unreal. But then guess what? We do it over and over again. We start figuring out different tricks. We start learning, we start asking, we start researching, reading, attending lectures, getting mentors, and then we become the people that then can teach the younger fellas that just graduated and so on and so forth. That's the cycle. But we have to fail. But when we become so afraid of failure, it makes us freeze, makes us paralyzed. So my friends, make this year the year that you fail. Now, here's the cool thing about failure. If you fail and you do just one thing after you fail, and you keep doing that one thing after you fail, you will become not just having an unbeatable mind, you'll be unbreakable. You'll be unshakable. You'll be considered a genius. That one thing is analysis. Analyze your failures. Literally analyze it. Analyze what happened. How did you fail? What could you learn from that? Research why you failed, and then do it again. And then fail again. And then analyze. But if you're not analyzing, if that one step you're missing from the equation, you'll still get better, but you'll get better at a slower pace. But if you want to inject steroids into this year, then inject analysis into the equation of you accumulating failures. And whatever you do, don't give up. Because giving up will not only mean defeat to yourself and to those around you. Giving up will drain the life out of you. Subconsciously, it will tell you that you're just not good enough. Literally giving up gives you the signal that you don't ever want to hear. And it will be something that will gnaw at you for the rest of your life. That is the one thing that you should never do and never even consider. Giving up is not an option. Now, I understand that there are some people that are just made not to give up. And those people are the people that end up succeeding and end up making a name for themselves and end up having an impact on this world during their lifetime and even after they're gone. It's those people that are willing to take risks. And yesterday I talked about taking risks. And I talked about how taking risks is the sure thing for you to beat fear, is the sure thing for you to win, is to take as big of a risk as you possibly can. The bigger the risk, the bigger the reward. Now, risks obviously inherently will be faced with failure. So do you see how everything is tied together? Like everything that I've talked about in the past 27 days, well, not everything, but the majority of it is tied together for self-improvement because I'm obsessed with that, as you should be as well. And if you were to notice, if you were to go back on the YouTube channel, because that's where everything is posted. I mean, it's posted on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram used to be posted, but then I stopped for a while. But it's posted, and it's posted on X. So if you check out X, X and YouTube are probably the two easiest platforms for you to see all the videos by just scrolling. If you were to see it and you were to just watch the first 2 minutes of each episode, you will see how I've improved in the past 27 days. You will see, you'll actually notice. And the reason why is because after every single time that I do a podcast, I do an analysis. I sit there, I cringe. I cringe, ladies and gentlemen. Not only you, but I too cringe. I cringe. It's cringeworthy. But guess what? There's no other way to improve. I can practice day and night. But as long as I'm not looking in the camera and pretending like 1,000 people are actually watching this, there's no way for me to improve. There's no way for me to articulate my way better. There's no way for me to think quickly and on my feet and be able to be engaging and be able to relate to you while you're actually watching this live. Whenever I tell people I'm doing this live, they can't believe it. It's true. It's crazy. But that's what it is. 2024 is the year of embracing failures. And to you, my friend, is the success and win of all the failures that you accumulated that you will continue to accumulate just whatever you do. Never, ever give up. Have yourself a great night. And until next time, keep smiling.